The space station orbited Europa like a metal moon. Inside its white halls, history was about to happen. Ambassador Lisa Martinez walked slowly down the corridor, her shoes clicking on the metal floor. Behind her came Commander Jake Morrison and Specialist Kelly Wright. Kelly had a brown dog on a leash. The dog was Rex, a German shepherd with alert ears and bright eyes. "Are you sure about bringing Rex?" Jake asked. He looked worried. "The aliens might not understand." "Rex stays with me," Kelly said firmly. "My job is security. Rex is the best security tool we have." Lisa nodded. "Let them see our methods. Dogs have been helping humans for thousands of years. Maybe the aliens can learn something." They reached the meeting room. The door opened with a soft hiss. Inside, 3 very different aliens waited. The first looked like a giant praying mantis, all green and sharp angles. The second resembled a seal made of living rock. The third moved like water given form, constantly shifting and flowing. "Humans," the mantis alien spoke through a translator. "I am Admiral Tothvar of the Velhari Coalition. We welcome you to this historic meeting." Lisa stepped forward and bowed slightly. "Thank you, Admiral. I am Ambassador Lisa Martinez of Earth. With me are Commander Morrison and Specialist Wright." Tothvar's big eyes focused on Rex. The dog sat calmly, watching everything. "What is that creature? Why do you bring a pet to diplomatic talks?" Jake started to answer, but Kelly spoke first. "Rex is not a pet. He's my partner. He's part of our security team." The rock alien made a grinding sound that the translator turned into laughter. "You use primitive life forms for security? How quaint." The water alien flowed forward. "Our psionic scanners detect all threats. We need no such ancient methods." Lisa smiled politely. "Different species develop different solutions. We've found dogs very effective." They all sat around a large table. Rex lay down beside Kelly's chair, but his eyes never stopped moving. He watched each alien carefully, his nose testing the air constantly. Admiral Tothvar tapped the table with a sharp claw. "Let us discuss trade agreements. We offer advanced technology in exchange for your planet's resources." As they talked, Rex suddenly stood up. He looked at the wall behind the water alien and gave a low growl. "Rex, quiet," Kelly whispered. But Rex didn't quiet down. He walked to the wall and scratched at it, whining. Jake frowned. "Kelly, control your dog." "Something's wrong," Kelly said. She stood up. "Rex never acts like this without reason." The mantis alien's antennae twitched with annoyance. "Your animal disrupts important talks. Remove it immediately." "Wait." Lisa raised her hand. "Kelly, what does Rex sense?" Kelly moved to Rex and knelt beside him. She examined the wall where he was scratching. "He smells something. There's a panel here." She pressed the wall and a hidden compartment opened. Inside was a small device blinking red. The room went silent. Jake immediately stood. "Security breach. Everyone stay calm." The aliens exchanged looks. The water alien flowed backward. "This is impossible. Our scanners showed nothing." Kelly carefully removed the device with gloved hands. "It's a listening device, very advanced." Rex smelled it. Admiral Tothvar's eyes widened. "Your creature detected what our technology could not?" Lisa looked at the device, then at the aliens. "As I said, different species have different strengths." The rock alien's voice was deeper now. "Perhaps we judged too quickly. This is unexpected." Jake took the device. "We'll need to scan this entire station now. Kelly, Rex should check every room." "Agreed," Kelly said. Rex wagged his tail, pleased with himself. The water alien moved closer to Rex. "May I observe your security method?" Kelly looked at Lisa, who nodded. "Of course. Rex, search." Rex immediately started moving around the room. His nose went to every corner, every chair, every alien. He paused when he reached the rock alien's chair and gave a small bark. "What now?" Tothvar asked. Kelly checked under the rock alien's chair. Another device. This one was smaller, almost invisible. Another one. Rex found it. The aliens were quiet for a long moment. Finally, the rock alien spoke. "We owe you an apology. We thought your methods were primitive. We were wrong." Jake smiled. "Rex isn't just any dog. He's trained to find things that scanners miss. Bombs, bioweapons, toxins, tracking devices. If it doesn't belong, Rex finds it." "How does this work?" the water alien asked. "Our science says this should be impossible." Kelly patted Rex's head. "Dogs have over 300 million scent receptors. Humans have about 6 million. Rex can smell things we can't even imagine. He can detect fear, illness, lies, and yes, hidden devices that your scanners miss." Admiral Tothvar leaned forward. "We have never seen anything like this. Our technology is far more advanced than yours, yet this animal detects what we cannot." "Sometimes the old ways work better," Lisa said gently. "We've learned to combine technology with nature." The water alien seemed to vibrate with excitement. "Could we learn this method, train our own companions?" "That would require cooperation between our species," Jake said carefully. "Yes, Admiral." Tothvar clicked his claws together. "Yes, it would. Perhaps this meeting was meant to teach us humility. We came here thinking we had nothing to learn. We were very wrong." Rex barked once, as if agreeing. Everyone smiled, even the aliens in their different ways. Lisa stood up. "Shall we start our talks again, this time with full respect for each other's methods?" As they settled back into their seats, Rex continued his patrol. The aliens watched, him with new interest. The rock alien asked Kelly dozens of questions about dog training. The water alien wanted to know about the bond between humans and dogs. By the end of the meeting, everything had changed. The aliens no longer looked down on human methods. Rex had earned their respect, and maybe, just maybe, the beginning of true friendship between species had started. Rex curled up under Kelly's chair, tired but happy. He had done his job well. Little did anyone know, this was just the beginning of Rex's importance to interstellar security. The next day, the aliens wanted proof. Admiral Tothvar stood in the empty cargo bay with his fellow aliens, watching humans set up a test. Lisa Martinez had promised them a full demonstration of Earth's dog abilities. "We will hide many threats," Jake Morrison explained. "Our dogs must find them all." "Very well," the rock alien rumbled. His name was Zarthel, and he seemed skeptical. "But we will add our own tests, make it fair." Kelly Wright walked into the bay with Rex. Behind her came Sergeant Maria Lopez with another dog, a black Labrador named Shadow. Both dogs wore special vests that said security in multiple languages. Dr. Alan Pierce, a human scientist with gray hair, arranged items on tables. "We've placed 10 threats around this bay, some explosives, some biological agents, some technology. Your scanners can look first." The water alien, who called herself Miraven, flowed around the bay. Her form shifted as she examined every corner. The aliens' machines beeped and hummed, scanning everything. After 10 minutes, they found 3 threats. "Our scan is complete," Tothvar announced. "We detected 3 dangerous items, now let your animals try." Kelly unclipped Rex's leash. "Rex, search." Rex began his work immediately. His nose went down, following invisible trails. He moved in a pattern Kelly had trained him for years to perfect. Within 2 minutes, he sat down next to a crate. "First one," Kelly called out. Maria released Shadow. "Shadow, search." Shadow took a different path, weaving between stacks of cargo. She stopped at a wall panel and pawed at it. "Second threat," Maria announced. The aliens watched in silence as the dogs worked. Rex found a tiny device inside a vent. Shadow discovered something inside a seemingly innocent water container. One by one, the dogs located all 10 threats placed by the humans. "Impressive," Zarthel admitted. "They found everything we did and more." But Rex wasn't finished. He kept sniffing, kept searching. He moved to where the aliens stood and began to circle them. His behavior changed. His tail went rigid and a low growl started in his throat. "What's wrong with your animal?" Tothvar demanded. Kelly rushed over. She knew Rex's signals. "Something's not right. Rex only growls like this when there's real danger." Shadow joined Rex, also focused on the alien group. Both dogs positioned themselves between the humans and aliens, their hackles raised. Jake stepped forward, hand near his weapon. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem." Rex suddenly lunged at Miraven, the water alien, but instead of attacking her, he snapped at something attached to her body. His teeth caught a small, organic-looking device. "No!" a voice shouted. It came from behind a cargo container. Another figure stepped out, a fourth alien none of the humans had seen before. This one looked like a mass of writhing tentacles. "Stop. That creature," the tentacle alien hissed. Jake drew his weapon. "Everyone freeze, what is this?" The tentacle alien raised several appendages. "You don't understand. That device maintains control. Without it, everything falls apart." Miraven suddenly convulsed. Her watery form became more solid, more defined. What happened? Where am I? What? She looked at her companions. "Tothvar, why can't I feel the connection?" Tothvar's antennae drooped. "The connection? Mira, we haven't shared the connection for cycles. That was ended when we joined." "The coalition?" "No," Miraven bubbled. "I remember the connection. I remember orders. Always orders. But now, nothing." Shadow ran to another alien and repeated Rex's action. She grabbed a similar device from Zarthel. The rock alien stumbled, his grinding voice becoming clearer. "By the ancient minerals," Zarthel thundered. "I see now. The Gren. They've been controlling us." The tentacle alien, a Gren, tried to back away. "You fools, you'll ruin everything." Lisa stepped forward, trying to make sense of the situation. "Someone explain what's happening here." "The dogs," Kelly said, watching Rex and Shadow continue their alert postures. "They smell something, not just devices, something biological. They're trained to detect bioweapons, including parasites and pheromones." Miraven's watery form was trembling. "The Gren, they use pheromone control. We thought we joined the coalition freely, but the connection, it was artificial. They've been controlling us for years." The Gren raised more tentacles. Things that looked like weapons appeared, in their grip. "You will all cease this discovery immediately," Jake shouted. "Security!" But Rex was faster. He launched himself at the Gren, followed by Shadow. The dogs had been trained to take down threats, and they moved with precision. Rex grabbed a tentacle, weapon in his jaws, while Shadow went for another. Both dogs shook their prizes violently, rendering them useless. More Gren weapons appeared, but the dogs were relentless. They had found the real threat and they meant to stop it. "The scent," Dr. Pierce said suddenly. "The dogs can smell the control pheromones. They're reacting to chemical weapons disguised as control devices." Tothvar seemed to shake himself awake. "Guard, arrest this Gren." But the Gren had more allies. 2 more appeared from behind cargo containers. "This complicates matters," one said in a voice like grinding glass. Rex and Shadow regrouped, placing themselves between the humans and the threat. Both dogs growled, their training taking over. They had detected not just devices, but a biological threat that even advanced scanners had missed. "The dogs saved us," Miraven said, her voice full of wonder. "They freed us from control we didn't even know we were under." Jake smiled grimly. "This is what dogs do. They don't just find bombs or drugs. They find trouble that's trying to hide." The Gren moved backward, but Rex and Shadow followed, keeping them contained. The true extent of the alien conspiracy was just beginning to show itself. "Now I understand," Admiral Tothvar said, looking at the dogs with new respect. "Your primitive methods see what our advanced technology cannot. Not because they're better technology, but because they detect life itself." The demonstration had revealed more than anyone expected. The dogs hadn't just found hidden threats. They had uncovered a conspiracy that had controlled entire species. And now the real battle was about to begin. The station's alarms began to wail. Red lights flashed in every corridor. Captain Stephen Price ran into the cargo bay, followed by security teams. He took one look at the scene and understood immediately. "We're going into full lockdown," he announced. No one leaves this station until we figure out what's happening. Rex and Shadow kept the Gren backed against the wall. The tentacle aliens tried to look peaceful, but their weapons were still visible. The dogs knew better than to trust appearances. The peace treaty, one Gren said in a smooth voice. It was all part of our plan. Earth has resources we need. The Velhari coalition was our tool to get them. Miraven's watery form bubbled with anger. You made us your puppets. My people thought we were free. Senator Beth Clark arrived with more security. She had been monitoring the talks from another room. Can someone tell me why we have dogs at gunpoint with aliens? Lisa Martinez quickly explained the situation. The dogs detected biological control devices. The Gren have been using pheromones to control the coalition species. For how long? Beth asked. Zarthel, the rock alien, crunched his rocky fist together. Cycles. Years in your time. I remember now. We used to be independent, strong, free. Then the Gren came with their connection. We thought it was communication technology. Admiral Tothvar's antennae drooped. They offered to help us speak across species barriers. Instead, they made us slaves. Rex suddenly barked 3 times. Maria recognized the signal. He smells more of them. There are other Gren on this station. Shadow ran to the air vent and started scratching at it. Her training told her the scent was coming from inside. The ventilation system, Jake Morrison realized. They're using the airflow to spread the pheromones. Dr. Alan Pierce ran to a console. I can analyze the air now, if we know what we're looking for. He worked quickly, running scans. There, unknown biological particles in the air circulation. New Gren voice came over the intercom. Attention all species, return to your assigned areas immediately. This disruption ends now. Kelly looked down at Rex. How many more, boy? How many Gren are on this station? Rex ran to different spots, in the bay, sniffing and barking. Each bark meant another Gren signature detected. At least 6 more, Kelly translated. They're spread throughout the station. Captain Price activated his communicator. All security teams, this is Code Red. We have hostile aliens using biological weapons. Dogs are now our primary detection method. Miraven flowed closer to the humans. You must understand. The Gren don't just control with pheromones. They also carry mind parasites, physical organisms that burrow into the brain. What? Lisa gasped. My people are partially immune because of our fluid nature, but others... Miraven indicated Tothvar and Zarthel. They may carry parasites. Shadow ran to Admiral Tothvar and began circling him anxiously. She whined and pawed at his leg. She's detecting something, Maria said. A parasite? Dr. Pierce grabbed a medical scanner. Let me check. He ran the scanner over Tothvar. The results made him pale. There's a foreign organism in his brainstem. Remove it, Zarthel demanded. We must free ourselves completely. The 3 contained Gren laughed in unison. You can't. Remove the connection, and the host dies. Rex suddenly lunged at one of the Gren, but not to attack. He grabbed something from a tentacle and backed away. In his mouth was a small, writhing parasite. He removed it, Kelly exclaimed. Rex somehow pulled it out without hurting it. Dr. Pierce examined the parasite Rex had dropped. Incredible. It's still alive. If we can study this... More alarms began blaring. This time it was different. Emergency lights showed containment breach warnings. They're releasing something, Jake shouted. Full biological alert. Rex and Shadow both ran to the sealed cargo bay door. They scratched and barked, frantically. The dogs want us to move, Maria said. They sense danger behind that door. Beth Clark made a decision. Open it carefully. We need to know what we're dealing with. The door opened slightly. A green mist started seeping through the gap. Rex and Shadow immediately backed away, fur raised, growling. Biological weapon, Dr. Pierce confirmed. It's a virus designed specifically for human systems. Miraven surged forward. I can absorb it. My natural form can process toxins. She spread herself thin, creating a barrier between the mist and the humans. But Rex wasn't done. He ran back to the Gren and grabbed another device from a different tentacle. This time it was some kind of control mechanism. "The shutoff!" Miraven called out. "The dog found the biological weapon control." Jake quickly grabbed the device from Rex. "How do we use it?" One of the Gren sneered. "You can't. It requires genetic authorization." But Shadow had been watching. She trotted over to a Gren and very gently touched her nose to a tentacle. She had learned that some controls needed biological contact. The device activated. The green mist stopped, flowing. Throughout the station, other containment alarms began to quiet. "The dogs did it again," Captain Price said in amazement. "They're not just finding threats, they're solving them." The Gren realized their plan was falling apart. "You've doomed yourselves. Our main fleet is already approaching Earth." "Tell us where," Lisa demanded. "Never." Rex and Shadow exchanged a look. Then they both approached different Gren. Using the same careful technique Shadow had used on the device, they touched their noses to the aliens. Both dogs suddenly sat down and pointed their noses at the ceiling, then swung them to point in a specific direction. "They're showing us where the fleet is," Kelly said in wonder. "They absorbed information and they're pointing the way." Jake activated the station's navigation systems. He followed the dog's indicated direction. "They're right. Our scanners show a fleet hiding behind Jupiter. Now we know where they are," Steve said grimly. "And thanks to the dogs, we know how to stop them." Miraven flowed around Rex and Shadow. "Your dogs have saved not just humans, but my people, and all the Coalition species. We were tools, but now we're free." The dogs wagged their tails. Their job was to find threats and protect their humans. Today, they had protected entire species. The station was secure, the immediate threat contained, but the real battle was just beginning. And Earth's dogs had proven they were humanity's secret weapon against threats no scanner could detect. 3 hours later, the chase began. Earth's fleet moved toward Jupiter, where the Gren ships were hiding. Rex and Shadow had joined the crew of the lead battleship, the USS Defender. Captain Stephen Price commanded from his chair as the ship approached the asteroid field. "Colonel Mike Hudson reporting," came a voice over the comm. "Dog teams are in position on all scout ships." "Good," Captain Price replied. "The dogs have proven they can detect Gren presence better than our scanners. Today we need every advantage." Rex stood beside Kelly Wright on the bridge. His ears were upright, nose testing the air constantly. The ship's filtered air shouldn't carry scents from outside, but Rex had surprised them before. "Enemy positions?" Steve asked. Tech specialist Sam Chen worked his console. "Scanners show 3 large ships, but if the dogs are right, there might be more hiding." Rex suddenly barked twice and ran to the view screen. He pawed at it, then sat down and pointed his nose upward. "He sees something," Kelly said. "Something our scanners miss." Shadow, on the other side of the bridge with Maria Lopez, also started, barking and pointing toward a different area of the asteroid field. 2 different threats, Maria translated. Shadow's pointing at 3 o'clock, Rex at 12. "Investigate both positions," Steve ordered. "Send scout ships." The first scout ship approached the coordinates Rex had indicated. Through the viewport, they could see asteroids floating in perfect formation. Too perfect. "This is Scout 1, came the report. "The asteroids, they're moving in patterns. They're not real." "Gren ships with camouflage," Jake Morrison confirmed. Rex detected them through the air systems. The second scout ship checked Shadow's direction. "Scout 2 here, finding the same thing. Fake asteroids, real ships underneath." Rex barked rapidly, now running between different parts of the bridge. Each spot he marked corresponded to a different section of the asteroid field. "He's mapping them," Sam Chen said in amazement. "The dog is showing us the entire enemy formation." Shadow joined Rex, and together they worked the bridge like professional navigators. One dog would point, the other would confirm or correct. The humans watched in fascination as a 3-dimensional battle map formed from the dog's alerts. "We count 12 ships total," Steve announced to the fleet. "All are hiding behind fake asteroids. Prepare for engagement." The Gren must have realized. Their cover was blown. The fake asteroid suddenly dropped away, revealing massive dark ships covered in tentacle-like weapons. All ships, this is Defender. Attack Formation Delta. Rex and Shadow didn't stop working. As the first shots were fired, both dogs ran to different air vents. They pawed frantically at the covers. "What now?" Kelly asked. Maria checked the vents. Rex was indicating. "Air recycling from the enemy ships. He's tracking their life support systems." "Can he follow their patterns?" Steve asked. Kelly knelt beside Rex. "Show us, boy. Where are they going?" Rex ran to the navigation console. He put his paws on it and barked in a specific rhythm. One short bark, two long ones, one short again. "That's a pattern," Sam Chen said. "Let me translate." He worked the console, following Rex's indications. "If I'm reading this right, he's showing us their escape routes." Shadow joined Rex at the console. Together, the dogs pawed at specific keys, as if they could operate computers. "They're showing us something," Maria said. "A route through the asteroids. A pathway." "That's their escape plan," Steve realized. The dogs figured out where the Gren will run. The battle continued. Human and Velhari ships fired at the Gren fleet. But the enemy ships were fast and well armed. Several human ships took damage. Rex suddenly howled, a long, mournful sound. Then he ran to the weapons console and barked urgently. "He wants us to fire at something specific," Kelly said. The weapons officer looked puzzled. "At what?" "There's nothing. At those coordinates." "Trust the dog," Steve ordered. "Fire at Rex's target." The weapons fired into seemingly empty space. Suddenly, a massive explosion lit up the asteroid field. A hidden Gren mothership had been revealed, cloaked beyond their scanning ability. Shadow ran to communications and barked at the console until Sam Chen activated it. "It's like she wants to send a message," Sam said. From the speaker came barking. But not just random barking. It was Rex and Shadow communicating in a pattern. And from other ships in the fleet, more barking answered them. "The dogs on other ships," Jake said in wonder. "They're coordinating." Over the next 20 minutes, the dogs on different ships continued their communication. They directed fire, warned of ambushes, and even guided damaged ships through safe passages in the asteroid field. "The dogs are running the battle," Steve said. "They're our combat coordination network." Rex suddenly froze, then howled again. This time, every dog on every ship howled in response. The sound echoed through the communication system. "What's wrong?" Kelly asked. The answer came in the form of a massive energy reading. The Gren mothership was charging a weapon unlike anything they'd seen. Rex ran to Kelly and grabbed her uniform with his teeth, pulling her toward the escape pods. Shadow did the same with Maria. "Evacuate," Steve shouted. "Dogs are giving evacuation. Warning, all hands to escape pods." The next few minutes were chaos. Ships turned away from the enemy, following routes the dogs had mapped earlier. The escape was precise, almost rehearsed, because the dogs had planned it. The Gren weapon fired. It destroyed 3 asteroids and damaged 2 human ships, but the casualty count was minimal. The dogs had saved them again. "Set course for the marked coordinates," Steve ordered. "We follow the dogs' plan." As they flew away from the battle zone, Rex and Shadow calmed down. They had done their job, detected threats, mapped escape routes, and coordinated the entire fleet's dogs in a complex battle strategy. "They're not just finding threats anymore," Kelly said softly. "They're thinking ahead, planning, working together across ships." Steve nodded. "These dogs have taken combat coordination to a new level. They're our secret weapon." The chase through the asteroid field had proven that dogs were more than detection tools. They were strategic thinkers, able to see patterns and coordinate responses beyond anything humans had imagined possible. The Gren mothership drifted in space, damaged but not defeated. General Ray Cooper stood on the bridge of the flagship Defender, watching through the view screen. Rex and Shadow had led them here, to the final battle. "Sir," Lieutenant Diana Foster reported. "Scans show the ship is heavily shielded. Our weapons can't penetrate." "The dogs can help us again," Kelly Wright said. Both Rex and Shadow were alert, focused on the enemy ship. Rex moved to the sensor array and began barking in patterns. Shadow joined him, and together they created a rhythm that meant something. "They're detecting weak points," Maria Lopez translated. "Points where the shield fails." General Cooper listened to his communications officer. "All ships prepare boarding parties. The dogs will guide us." 3 human ships docked with the Gren mothership at the exact points the dogs had identified. Rex and Shadow led the first boarding party. Behind them came Kelly, Maria, Jake Morrison, and a squad of Marines. The inside of the Gren ship was dark and humid. The air smelled wrong, thick with pheromones that made humans dizzy. But Rex and Shadow moved with purpose, following scent, trails invisible to everyone else. "Stay close," Jake ordered. "Follow the dogs." They moved through corridors that twisted like intestines. Gren troops appeared, firing energy weapons, but Rex would bark a warning seconds before each attack, giving the humans time to take cover. Shadow led a second team through different passages. She guided them around traps and ambushes, her nose detecting dangers before they appeared. "Conding, dogs are mapping the entire ship," General Cooper said over the comm. "They're finding every Gren position." Rex suddenly stopped at a massive door. He pawed at it and whined. "This must be important," Kelly said. "Rex only acts this way around major threats." The door was sealed shut, but Shadow arrived with her team. She sniffed around the doorframe and barked 3 times, then she ran to a panel on the wall. "She found the control," Maria said. "Good girl, Shadow." The door opened to reveal a vast chamber. In the center floated a massive, pulsing mass of tentacles, the Gren Queen. Around her, dozens of worker Gren tended to biotech equipment. The source of the pheromone control, Jake realized. Take out the Queen, and the entire control network fails. The Gren workers attacked immediately. Energy blasts filled the chamber. Rex and Shadow split up, each dog leading a team to flank the defenders. Rex ran straight toward the Queen. Gren soldiers tried to stop him, but he dodged and weaved, using his training to avoid their weapons. He reached the base of the Queen's floating platform and began barking urgently. "He's found something," Kelly shouted over the noise. She fought her way to Rex. At the base of the platform was a biological interface. Rex was pawing at it, trying to activate something. "It's a control node," Kelly understood. "For the entire pheromone system." Shadow appeared on the other side of the chamber. She had led her team to a similar interface. Both dogs were barking in the same pattern now. "They need us to do something," Maria called out. "Some kind of simultaneous activation." The Queen sensed the danger. Her tentacles lashed out at the dogs, but Rex and Shadow were too quick. Years of training had made them experts at avoiding large threats. "Now!" General Cooper's voice came over the comm. "Whatever the dogs are trying to do it now." Kelly and Maria each pressed their hands on the interfaces the dogs had found. Rex and Shadow placed their paws beside the human hands. A surge of energy ran through the room. The Queen shrieked, a sound that made everyone's teeth ache. All the Gren in the chamber suddenly froze. "The control network," Dr. Alan Pierce's voice crackled through the comm from the Defender. "It's reversing. The dogs found a way to turn it back on the Gren." Throughout the galaxy, Gren forces stopped fighting. Their own pheromone control system had been turned against them. Ships drifted powerless. Ground forces stood paralyzed. The boarding teams began to withdraw. Rex and Shadow had completed their mission. As they ran back through the corridors, the dogs guided them past disabled Gren soldiers. Back on the Defender, celebrations began. Admiral Tothvar stood on the bridge with the humans, his insectoid features somehow showing joy. "The dogs freed the entire galaxy," he said, "not just with fighting, but with intelligence. They understood what needed to be done." Rex and Shadow lay exhausted on the deck. Both dogs were panting, tired from their effort, but their tails wagged when they saw their human partners. General Cooper knelt beside the dogs. "You did it. You ended this war." Over the next hours, reports came in from across the galaxy. All Gren forces had surrendered or retreated. The control network had been dismantled forever. Zarthel, the rock alien, crunched his way to where Rex rested. "In our culture, we honor great warriors. These dogs are legends now," Miraven flowed over to Shadow. My species will study how they detected our biocontrols. We must learn from them. Days later, as the human fleet returned to Earth, requests came from dozens of species. Everyone wanted to establish K9 units. Everyone wanted to learn from Earth's dogs. They're calling them professional threat sniffers now, Lisa Martinez told the returning team. Not just threats, Kelly corrected. They sniff out solutions too. Rex sat beside his partner, wearing a new collar with medals from 3 different species. Shadow wore similar honors, but neither dog seemed to care about the recognition. What's next for them? General Cooper asked. Kelly smiled and patted Rex's head. Training. We have a lot of species to teach, and Rex and Shadow are going to be the best teachers the galaxy has ever seen. The dogs barked in agreement. They had work to do, training programs to establish, and a galaxy to keep safe. Earth's dogs had become more than just humanity's companions. They had become the galaxy's protectors. The title, Professional Threat Sniffers, would echo across space for generations to come, a reminder of how simple methods and loyal hearts had saved entire civilizations. Rex and Shadow curled up for a well-deserved rest, knowing their greatest adventure was just beginning. The universe was full of threats to find, and they were ready for everyone.